Hi everyone, it's me, Tiago. So today I'm doing a video that is super different from anything I've done in the past. This is a storytime video, which used to be like pretty popular. I don't know, I can't keep up with trends, and none of my videos are actually trendy or like get any views, so it's fine. It'll be just like all the other ones. I have actually been wanting to tell this story for a while, but I just didn't know if people would want the video, and I just have no other ideas, and so I thought this would be a fun thing to talk about. Okay, so the story takes place in July of last year, so 2019. Obviously, if you're watching this in the future, that's not last year anymore, but right now it's the beginning of 2020, so yeah. You've read the title and you know that this video is gonna be about an Airbnb kind of like scary story. I'm not sure what I'm gonna title it exactly, but just so you know, this is not gonna be like a horror story. It's not gonna be like Shane Dawson's new video talking about like secret cameras and Airbnb people like spying on you and stuff. It's not gonna be super creepy or anything. It just seemed pretty scary at the time, and it will for most of the story. So just that's the preface. Okay, so every summer my family and I go up to visit my grandma in upstate New York. So this past summer we were visiting my grandma and also a family reunion in Maine, and we were also stopping to visit a bunch of colleges along the way, which I think is actually why we stopped at this Airbnb. We were stopping to visit a college, and then like that was a convenient place to stay. So basically we were on a car trip. We had a reservation for an Airbnb that my mom made, fine and dandy. It was like on a farm type thing, not like a big farm, but like she had like alpacas and chickens and stuff. I think my mom chose it because my brother would like to see all the animals. I was not a part of the decision. I was just along for the ride. So after like a long day of traveling, we arrived at the house that had the address that we were given and like matched the description and everything. We saw the alpacas and all of that. So we pull up into the driveway and we park. There's like one car there. So we assume that that belongs to the owner of the house, who I'm gonna call Kathy. So we go up to the front door and we knock on it to see if Kathy is there and can let us in and show us to the room and stuff. And a bunch of dogs barked. We saw like 3 or 4 dogs like jumping up at the door, but no one answered the door. And so we kept on knocking and no one was answering, and it was starting to seem really weird. So we assumed that she probably just like gone out to the store or something. So we go and like decide to look around a little bit while we wait for her to come home. And we go walk around. We see all the different like alpacas, and there's one llama and some ducks and roosters and hens and things just running all around. None of them are shut up in their like hutches for the night, even though it was getting like pretty late. It was probably around 5 or something. So we just like walked around the land. It was really pretty, you know, just like sprawling fields and then like all the animals running around. And we hung out around there for a little while, and eventually we thought we should probably have some dinner. So we had food that we had brought with us, and so we decided to just like have a picnic out in the yard while we waited for Kathy to get home. So as we were going to get the food from the car, we noticed that there was like another apartment attached to the back of the house. Like the back door was kind of connected sort of in a like through a mudroom. So we decided to go knock on that door too. So when we knocked on that door, someone actually did answer after like a little while. It seemed like no one was gonna answer again, but someone did come to the door. There was like another dog in there, and she seemed kind of like grumpy, not wanting to talk, and like just wanting to watch TV in her little apartment there. But we told her that we couldn't find Kathy and that we were staying in the Airbnb. So she kind of like grudgingly showed us to the room that we were supposed to stay in. There were a few different rooms. There was like an upstairs section of her house. It seemed like Kathy probably lived in the downstairs portion. All her dogs were down there, and there was like a kitchen and stuff. And then there was a little staircase that went up, and there were a few rooms up there. I think there were 2 rooms. And like a little microwave and stuff that people could stay in, and no one else was staying there. It was just us in one of the rooms. And so the lady showed us which room it was and told us we could like go in and use the microwave and things. So we used the microwave to make some food, and we ate our dinner out in the yard, and then just kind of waited for Kathy to get there, and she never really was it was getting dark, and we were kind of concerned. So finally another car like pulled into the driveway, and we were like, okay, finally Kathy is here. It was like, you know, like the summary to the story. We were like, okay, wonderful, now she can like tell us everything we need to know, and like, you know, just we can meet her and see whose house we're staying in. And so a lady stepped out of the car and she walked over to us, and then she was like, "Are you Kathy?" We were like, no, we thought you were. And then her like 11-year-old son stepped out of the car too. We were like, okay, clearly just some other person who's renting a room here. She told us that she was also trying to stay in one of the rooms. There was another room, like a little house in the back that they were staying in, and they also didn't know where Kathy was. They had not heard from her. We all had Kathy's phone number from the information, like the Airbnb information, and so my mom and this other lady were texting her and calling her, but she wasn't answering anything, and the calls were just like going straight to voicemail. So I don't even remember the real name of the second lady, so we'll just call her Elizabeth. Great. And her son can be Seth. So after a while, Elizabeth and Seth and me and my mom and my brother were all just like waiting. We showed them like the place where they were supposed to stay, and that there was this lady who stayed here who obviously knew some things. We didn't really know who she was. Eventually, I think we figured out she was the daughter of Kathy or something like that, some relation like that. And she was just kind of like living in the little apartment in the back, not really wanting to interact with all the, do you call them tenants? I don't know, just people who are staying in the Airbnb. So it was like actually getting dark by now, and we were getting pretty concerned that Kathy had not answered anything and no one knew where she was. And so just as we were about to like give up on her, we were like starting to freak out. Seth, the little child with the second lady, was starting to like really freak out, thinking that she had like been murdered or something. He apparently had a really active imagination. His mom was like trying to calm him down, but he was like freaking out. So eventually we're like, okay, I guess we should probably put these animals back into their like houses for the night, because it's probably dangerous for them to be like loose all night long, that we could hear like some coyotes and things in the distance. So we managed to get like the chickens back into their little roosting area and like close the door. And we weren't sure what to do about the llamas and alpacas. I think that they were still pretty much closed in. We might have just closed the gate because I think they were all in the area. I'm not sure. But we like tried to put everything into order since Kathy wasn't doing it. And then like just as we were about to like go to bed or like give up on Kathy, a tractor pulled into the driveway, like dramatically just like driving down this gravel driveway into the area with this one lady driving it. We were so relieved that like Kathy had come home at last. So she steps down from the tractor and she turns to us and she goes, "Do you know where Kathy is?" What? So you're not Kathy either? Like, where is Kathy? This was like turning into this full-blown mystery. We had no idea where Kathy was, like what was going on, what was the whole situation here. This lady apparently had like more information than we did. So she had gotten a call from Kathy's phone number, but it wasn't Kathy talking. It was just someone who had found her phone apparently. So the story, as she had heard it from these people, was that they had found Kathy's phone on the side of the road. It had been like shattered and like destroyed, but they managed to get the SIM card out and put it into their phone and like call one of the contacts. And so they called this neighbor. She was the person who lived like in the farm across the road, which is another really interesting thing she told us. That road was like the border between New York and Vermont, I think. It was like one side of the road was one state and one was the other. It was just as a side. That was a cool thing. Anyway, she told us that they had called her and said that they had found her destroyed phone and that she could come pick it up. And that Kathy could come pick up the SIM card to put into another phone, but this phone was like destroyed. So at last, like we had some answers. Like we knew why Kathy had not been answering any phone calls because she didn't have her phone. And we didn't know where she was still, but at least we had like a part of the story fitting together. And so we were still slightly concerned that she had not come home, especially since she knew that she had people coming to stay at her house. But we kind of pushed that aside and like tried to look on the bright side and like get ready for bed and hope for Kathy would come home eventually. So the lady who came over on the tractor, we're not gonna think of a name for her. I'm just gonna call her a tractor lady. She wrote a note and put it on Kathy's door so that when Kathy did come home, she could like understand the situation even if we were asleep. I have a picture of the note, but I'm gonna blur out like all the personal information and stuff, but this is like what the note was. Just so that's like, you know, it was real. I could have forged that, but I didn't. This is like a real story. So we brushed our teeth and like got all ready for bed, and we went into the room we were supposed to stay, and then we realized that there were no sheets on the bed. So like, she had clearly not prepared at all for us to be in this room. It was really strange. That was just like the icing on the cake at that point. That was like, this is weird as heck. Like, where is Kathy? Why is she just MIA completely? We decided that we could go and check out the other room that no one was staying in, and there were sheets in there. I think we managed to like steal some sheets from the other room and put them on the bed in the room that we were staying in. I was sleeping on the floor and like some mats that we brought and stuff, but my mom and my brother were sleeping in the bed. So we like managed to lie down. We were like hearing coyotes in the distance. Like I said earlier, they were like getting louder. It was just like a very strange night, but we turned off the lights, we like got into bed, and just as we were like drifting off to sleep, there was like a loud knock on the door, like stomping steps up the stairs and a banging knock on the door. And so we were like startled. We got up and like opened the door, and there was this strange lady just standing there like looking at us. And when she saw us, she kind of freaked out and was like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry, I totally forgot about you." So finally this was like Kathy who had arrived, and she was standing there. She had like seen us. She did not remember that we were staying in this room. What she told us is that she had been like, she realized that she had lost her phone and she had been looking on the road where she was pretty sure she had lost it. I think she might have put it on like the roof of her car and forgotten or something. But she had like, she knew where she lost it and she had not been able to find it because the other people found it. But then she was there. She was actually super friendly and she was like super apologetic too. She had made up the other room for us and she knew we had more people. And so that one had 2 beds, but she didn't tell us that on our thing. It said that we were staying in the room that we were in. And so that's why there were no sheets in there. But yeah, that was like the happy ending to this like stressful kind of super strange night. Then the next morning she was also like super friendly. She showed us around and like gave us some special jam that she had, and she was super friendly and great. She had just forgotten that she had people coming over and that she needed to be home. So that's pretty much the story. I might have left out some details, but that is what I remember from the story. Like I said, it was months ago, so I might have forgotten some things, but that is definitely the gist of the story. So if you liked that video, please hit the thumbs up button to let me know that you like this, because maybe I'll make more story times. I don't really have any other great stories for this, but I might think of something. And yeah, leave me like something in the comments below telling me what other kind of videos you want me to do next. And if you're not subscribed yet, please subscribe because we're getting so close to 900 and my ultimate goal for so long has been 1,000 subscribers. So just like get me there, that would be amazing. And click the little bell to get notifications when I upload, unless I think maybe videos marked for kids don't give notifications anymore. So some of my videos are marked as made for kids just to be cautious with this whole COPPA stuff. Click it anyway, because they'll be notified for some of my videos, and that'll be better than nothing. Yeah, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in my next one. Bye.